Okay, recording in progress. All right.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 4,
5.
5. Woo, thanks, Becky. Episode 5 of the Hot Mess Mountain Mamas. As you can tell, we don't even know what episode we're on. I'm Becca.
That's how I'm Jackie. Obviously the epitome of professionalism right here. So
For real. And today we thought it would just be really fun for us to introduce our first time birthing stories. So just to kind of give you guys a picture, because it does, we actually kind of have very different opposite birthing stories. So do you feel like
one moment, apologies. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it has like a time limit.
Okay.
And
Thank
it only
you.
has like 15 minutes left.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thanks, buddy. I will keep that in mind. Do you want to poke your head in here and just say hello real quick?
Hello.
There you go. See, I'm not talking to myself.
I know
Everyone.
I
Okay.
don't know right now. Okay, we're recording. You need to go. Thank you.
Hot Mess Mountain Mamas at its finest. Thank you. With Sadie, I went to the birthing classes. I felt like I had the whole thing. I kind of felt like, okay, yes, I don't know what to expect, but also like, you know, I've experienced pain before, so this is gonna be fine.
Right.
The teacher told us to practice for pain levels by putting a clip on our finger and leaving it there as long as possible. And that was I don't know what that was supposed to do, but let me tell you that did not prepare me for birth at all. Not even a little bit. So
No, I'm pretty sure that clip needs to be someplace else.
Yeah. So that did not prepare me at all. And you know, I thought I'm gonna have the natural childbirth. And I have women in my life who've done it naturally, and I thought I can do it naturally. I'm gonna do it. And so I got, you know, whatever people said I might need to make this happen, like the bounce ball, like the ball, you know, the breathing techniques, like whatever, I can't even remember all the things right now, but whatever they said I was going to need, I was like, yes. I had this huge duffel bag that was my like go to the hospital bag, and it was huge, and I was gonna do it. And then I went into labor, and it was like the beginning, and I thought, okay, this isn't like that bad, you know, like I can do this. Like cramps, I've had tons of cramps in my life. This is like,
yes,
I experience this every month. Like this is fine. Okay. And I thought there was a part of me that knew it would probably hurt a little more down the road as the labor increases, but I really was not prepared. And it was like my contractions got close enough that we could kind of start timing them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to put on the movie. I'm going to eat some soup. I'm going to make some soup, because they were like, you know, do something kind of light and breathy. He really wants to be in the video today. So I'm going to do, you know, so Chris had started making soup, like canned soup, you know, which how long does it take to boil canned soup? 5-10 minutes tops. And in that amount of time, something like a switch flipped. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is
real.
This is, yeah. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my gracious, like I think real labor has begun. And they jumped so fast. They were like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And all of a sudden they were like 2 minutes apart. There was no transition.
Yeah.
And they were like powerful. And I was like, I was like, I'm in labor for reals. This is no joke. So we called, the hospital was like 25-minute drive, I think. And like, you know, they were getting kind of like progressive. In 25 minutes, they got progressively worse. And but they were still like 2 minutes apart. They didn't really get closer. They just got like more powerful, 2 to 3 minutes apart. But they were so strong. I was like, I can't walk. Like, I'm like, this is the real deal. Well, we pulled in. So I gave birth in like San Jose, California, huge city, at a huge Kaiser. And they had this like roundabout, where you could pull in for emergency stop or whatever and walk in and then come move your car later.
Yeah.
And there were 2 cars in that little roundabout hanging out while the drivers were like outside chatting. And I was like we couldn't get pulled in,
Yes.
because
Yes.
they were blocking it. And I
Yes.
was like, kidding me right now? So, I like hit the button on the window because the windows were up. It was September and it was super hot. Like it was such a hot September. So we had air conditioning on and stuff. I pushed the window and it was like, meh. And I said, are you kidding me? That's all I said. I just shouted, are you kidding me, out the window? And they both were like, and they got in their cars. I was like, hold on, move. Like this. And and then like we got, of course, okay, same thing happened in Grand Junction. Why are the labor and delivery rooms on like the 5th floor, the 7th floor? Like, come on. I'm trying to get there so I can have a baby. And let me tell you how the elevator does not care that I'm in labor. It's just like the same speed it always is.
That's how it was in Russia too.
Yeah.
It's like all the way up on like the 8th floor. I'm like,
who decided who chose this? This is a terrible idea. Come on. Labor and delivery needs to be on the 1st floor, okay? So you just get there. But yeah, I couldn't even walk. Like I was like, every couple minutes when I have a contraction, I was like hunched over on Chris, like, oh my gosh. So when I finally got to the right floor, the nurses, which by the way, the longest hallway on the face of the planet, I'm like, I had to go up this really slow elevator. And now I have to walk a mile down your hallway to get there. They saw me coming from like what felt like forever away, and they like brought the wheelchair because clearly I was doing like 2 steps for every contraction by that point.
Yep.
And then we got in there, and I was like, I am not at all like my duffel bag never left the car. I had that whole labor was like 13 hours, like from start to finish, and that duffel bag never left the car because I realized when I got there, like I am not prepared for this labor. And I ended up getting an epidural because I was like, this is the worst pain I've ever experienced in my entire life. And your little clippy thing on my finger did nothing to prepare me.
Right.
And I feel like I have fairly high pain tolerance. And this was like blew everything out of the water. And
Yep.
I was not well prepared. So I was like, epidural, like as quick as you can. So, and then that kind of like slowed my labor down a little bit, but at least I like could, I could, yeah. So actually I had a pretty good epidural placement. I know there's been horror stories of people who had like bad placements, but mine was actually, the doctor did a really good job. And so everything was pretty even, and I really didn't feel anything until I was like, I was right at the end where it was like almost time to push, and then the contractions were more intense, and then I could feel those break through. So it was kind of like I wasn't so numb that I didn't feel those breakthrough contractions, but it kind of like brought things way down a lot. So I kind of had the dream epidural experience, but you're gonna fall. My son is doing a dangerous thing right now. That's not a good idea.
Yes, it is.
It's like
Okay, well, I can't reach it.
anyway. So that was hilarious because I just thought I was prepared, and I was not at all.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So tell me, how was your experience? What did your experience look like?
So total opposite.
Okay.
Because I was the same. I was like, I'm going to go into this and I'm going to do it naturally. And I did, but I think part of it was, it's like, I had a huge support system with me because I was at Camp Red Cloud at the time. And so all these other moms had done that. I had they gave me these books. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bradley method.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know if you read it or not, but it was like, read through it, and they were like upfront and honest with me. Like, these women were like, it is gonna suck when you transition. Like, it is gonna suck. And I was like, okay, all right, so we can do this. And they were like, and you have to tell us, like, you're gonna have to tell us, like Michelle was telling me this. She's like, you're gonna have to tell me what you need so that I can help you through this. And between her and Jordan, it was like, I don't know what it was. I wanted my belly massaged. during a contraction. It was
Wow.
the strangest thing. In fact, even Michelle was like, this is weird. This is weird. This isn't what you want, but this is what helps. And so, and the funniest thing to me is that we were driving, like as soon as everything started, it's like we were having to go to Gunnison. And so that's an hour drive for those of you who don't live here and don't know this. It's an hour drive. And so we're driving there. So I'm in labor as we're driving. And we go past this steak restaurant that used to be on the highway right before you get into Gunnison. And I smell burgers. And all of a sudden I'm like, I just want a burger. Like I'm starving. I want a burger. And so I'm like telling Michelle this. Michelle's like, you can't eat. Like you're going to puke it up. You can't eat. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, her and Jordan stop at like Sonic and she gets like cheesy tater tots or something like that. Jordan gets a burger. And I'm like, you guys, this is like torture. So we get into the hospital and I think Michelle just felt so bad for me. She kept sneaking me food.
Oh my gosh. I would not. Oh my gosh.
These cheesy tater tots. She's sneaking me your cheesy tater tots. I also think there was a dual purpose there too, because apparently if you do throw up, it does make your labor go faster. So because of the,
like
kind of similar muscles happening there. So
that sounds really like a horrible experience though.
I know. Well, but it really did turn out just fine. The other thing that I thought was super cool is that the doctor was like, he was like, whatever you want to do. You want to get in the tub, get in the tub. You want to sit on a ball, sit on a ball. Like Gunnison is like the best place to give birth, in my opinion, because it is on the first floor. Like you go in and they're like, oh yeah, there's that. Like, here's your room. And so the other cool thing is that I was able to be in the bath. And if have you ever done that, ever experienced that before? It like suspends everything. And I really think that that's what helped me in those final stages is I was able to just like that floating experience. Is your son above you?
Yes. He's like climbing up here. I'm getting like speckles of dirt on my face because we have a banister and he's trying to be dangerous right now. And I'm like, this is not the time. But he thinks it is. He thinks it is.
Because we're recording.
So I'm like, please don't sit on the railing and climb over right above my head right now, please. I don't really want it to be recorded when you fall off on my head and break your arm and legs.
Hey, and then I'm a ton of views.
I was just chilling, making a video, not watching my kids at all. And then in the video, they break themselves. That sounds great.
Oh, man. So anyway, so my experience was like textbook and it went really well. And so well that it was like, I don't know. You know how sometimes babies can come out and they look like little blue aliens?
Yeah.
When Corey came out, I was like, what's wrong with her? Like she looked like this perfect little doll. And I was so confused because I've been told like
what happened to the alien baby?
Like a sweet little baby. Like they're gonna look like a lizard. Like that's just
oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So
yeah.
That
is hilarious. So Sadie, they had to get her out really fast. So they ended up using the suction. Because actually when I did get down to the end, she like started having a lot of stress. I guess my water was too low. And so it was like pinching the cord. Yeah. And she got really stressed, had like a bowel movement. Her heart rate was like plummeting. So they were like suctioned her out really fast. Yeah. And so she definitely had a little cone head kind of thing.
Yep.
yeah, which is really funny. And then but of course then you're like, oh, it's over. And
I know.
Baby.
And
but
you're
then,
like,
you're like, it's over. Woo. And then they're like, no, we have to birth the placenta, not done. It's like, dang it.
Yes.
Yes. Be respectful.
So we have about 2 minutes. We have about 2 minutes of recording.
Okay.
Where it's gonna like
sounds great. Yeah. So that is really fun. So I feel like if there's viewers who want to share their birth story, it would be really fun for us to hear like what you thought going in and like what the reality was and kind of like some of your experiences, because I think it's always fun to hear other women's stories and they're so varied. That's really fun to just hear like every birth story is an adventure. I feel like even if you've already had children.
It's so true. And I think that's why I was like, oh, this is awesome. Jackie totally had
Yeah.
a different one than me. Like,
Yeah, totally different. Like you were well prepared. I thought I was prepared, but I was not. Yeah, yeah. So very cool. But yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to hear viewers' first stories. If there's women who want to share, that'd be awesome.
for sure. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Cool. Thank you guys. Those of you that have been viewing and watching. This is
Yes.
Our fifth
Yes.
episode. We appreciate all the viewers. So
We do.
all
Exactly.
8 of you, we appreciate you.
Yes, thank you all 8 of you who watch. You can find us
Mhm.
on Instagram, YouTube, obviously, and Facebook. I think I'm a Jackie Cambish on Instagram, and Jackie Cambish, I think Faith and Family blog or something like that. Gosh, I really need to remember
what it
what
is.
that is.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
something.
what it is.
So yeah, just search our names, and then but Becca, you're at yours is little. You don't have your last name in yours, so what's yours?
No, it's Becca Maria EO.
Yes.
That's just the tagline for everything. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah. And we will talk to you guys. We'll share with you guys next week.
Yes, sounds good. Bye.
Bye.